There was a time, and I remember it well, when you couldn't throw a stick in a pub car park without hitting a convertible. They were as common as drizzle in a British summer. In 2004, nearly 95,000 brand new convertibles were registered in the UK. It was the golden age. Sunshine, open road, and the wind playing with your hair, if you had any. But fast forward to today, and things have really taken a bit of a turn. Last year, 12,173. That's not a slump, that's a full-scale collapse, a nosedive, a catastrophic roof failure. It's the lowest figure in more than 2 decades, and frankly, I find it a little heartbreaking. Now, before you blame the weather, and yes, British summers do tend to last about 3.5 hours, there is more to this decline than drizzle and grey skies. The main culprit? The SUV. The automotive equivalent of sensible shoes. High riding, practical, square-shouldered, and dominating the roads like overprotective parents. People love them, and for good reasons too. They're big, they're comfy, and they're safe. They can fit the dog, the kids, and the weekly shop. But they don't have that sense of fun, do they? And here's the thing, it's not that we've stopped loving convertibles. The appeal is still broad. 53% of UK convertible drivers are men, 47% women. Pretty balanced. Take a closer look, and you'll see the pattern. Women dominate the middle years, while men take over at the younger and older ends. That's not the profile of a dying fad. That's a car that still speaks to people across ages and genders. The problem isn't desire, it's availability. Back in the mid-2000s, you could pick from nearly 60 convertible models. Today, just 16. Even the big names are quietly pulling the plug. The Mini convertible is waving goodbye. The Audi A5 Cabriolet has already left the party. And the Ford Mustang convertible is looking nervously at the door. And yet, convertibles have long been popular in the UK, each with their own quirks. From brand to brand, model to model. It's these little touches that show why convertibles still capture people's hearts today. Now, throw electrification into the mix, and the poor old convertible really starts to sweat. Turning an electric car into a convertible isn't as simple as just chopping the top off. You've got batteries to think about. Big, heavy, awkward things that don't like being squashed into flimsy open-top frames. At the moment, the UK has exactly 2 electric convertibles on sale. You have the Fiat 500e, a pocket-sized slice of Italian sunshine, and consistently near the top of cars most loved by women lists, and the MG Cyberster, trying very hard to be the spiritual successor to the old British Roadster. 2, that's it. So if you want to go green and feel the wind in your hair, good luck. And you can see what manufacturers are putting their money into. SUVs are the easy sell. Tall, practical, a boxy confidence on wheels. They tick every spreadsheet box. Safe, spacious, and family-friendly. Convertibles, on the other hand, well, they wobble a bit, they rattle. And they give you a boot the size of a bread bin. But they also make you grin like a kid at Christmas. And that's the problem. In a market obsessed with logic, the cars built purely for fun are the ones that struggle. Take the Mazda MX-5. The car that practically invented smiles per mile and has earned near-cult status, particularly with men, with around 70 to 85% of its owners being male. It's a small, pure and rewarding drive. Now consider the Fiat 500c. In many ways, it's the opposite. A cheeky, compact, playful vehicle, with less emphasis on cornering speeds and more on character, colour and charm. At the higher end sits the Porsche Boxster. An iconic convertible vehicle known all over the world for its style, power and brilliant engineering. And that's the point. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're a reflection of how different convertibles make people feel. But here's the rub. In a world obsessed with efficiency ratings, practicality and lifestyle choices, smiles are harder to sell. Unless you're Bentley or Porsche, where emotion still wins. Building a convertible today feels a bit like launching a new typewriter in the age of laptops. It's a lovely idea, but it's not what the world is asking for. And yet, despite all this doom and gloom, hope lingers. More than 1 million convertibles are still on the road in the UK. That's 1 million people who haven't let go of the dream. Yes, the convertible may be fading from everyday life, but maybe that makes it even more special. Not mass-produced and parked on every street, but rare. A treat. Like a jukebox in a proper pub, or a perfectly pulled espresso. So, if you've got one, sitting on the driveway or tucked under a dust sheet in the garage, do yourself a favour. Use it. Pick a dry day, find a quiet B road, drop the roof, and remember why we fell in love with these silly, brilliant, roofless things in the first place. Because soon, the only place you might see one, is on Men and Motors.